Hi, welcome back to EducateTube.com. My name is a7sii, your host. Today I'm going to be using my Pilotfly H1 Plus on 4 cameras. The first one I'm going to try, and I showed this to you already, it is the Sony a5100. It uses a APS-C sensor, so just one down from the full frame sensor, 35mm sensor. Okay. The next one I will be testing also is a Nikon d5200 using the kit lens as well as prime lens, and of course my favorite, the ultimate night vision, you could say, camera. This is a Sony a7S2 camera. I guess the best for any type of video thing that you like to do. This camera can do it, and do it really well. So I'm going to test it on my Pilotfly H1 Plus as well. Okay. And lastly, I'm also going to be testing using my Samsung S5 smartphone. So these 4 cameras, I'm going to put it to test. See how this gimbal, this Pilotfly H1 Plus, how they can handle these 4 cameras. Now, you'll notice that I'm not going to play around with the software. I'm just going to put it on, try to balance as fast as I can onto this gimbal. So some of the tests is not fair for some of these cameras because it was just according to the Sony a5100. And then after that, I just put it onto this gimbal, hoping that it will work. So it's not a fair test, but it is just a way for me to do it really quickly and see how stabilized these camera will do on these tests. Now, the Sony a7S2 has a built-in stabilizer. It's a 5-axis internal stabilizer, so it itself already have it, and with the gimbal I hope that it will be even better. Alright, let's go and test it out in the field. Today I'll be testing my Pilotfly H1 Plus with various camera. The first one I'm going to be testing is this camera here. This is the Sony a5100 camera. It has a 16-50mm lens, 3.5 to 5.6 aperture, variable aperture. So it's not too bad. I'm going to try to move around with this camera, and then I'm going to pair that with Nikon d5200 with the prime lens as well as the kit lens. And I will be also using my Sony a7S2, and that's also going to be using the prime lens f2 28mm. Alright, so here we go. This is a Sony a5100 camera. So I'm going to show you what it's capable of doing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, walking through this log, the beautiful conservation park near Mississauga, and I'm going to walk through this. Alright, beautiful setting, and we're going to move towards this rock here. Then I'm going to go towards the creek. So I'm walking through. See if I can do that. So it's a bit wet now, but we're going to have to see how it does. And I'll show you the beautiful creek that we have in Mississauga, Ontario. And I will show you that this is a very beautiful landscape. Here, as you can see, this is in March, going to be April, March 27th, on Sunday, Easter Sunday, and beautiful. And there's a bridge right there, you can see, quite nice. Now what I'm going to do next is going to show you Nikon 5200 with a prime lens. I believe it's a 35mm prime lens, f1.8. Okay, but right now we're using Sony a5100 with a kit lens, 1650mm lens, kit lens. But you can see I'll have to look it through my computer, see if this is a nice scenery. Let me get up a closer shot of the beautiful creek. Get closer up. There we go. Moving up. Okay, let's try Nikon D5200 prime lens now. Okay, so this is a Nikon D5200. Actually, I'm using the kit lens to test the stability. Okay, so here we go. This is the ultimate test. This is a Sony a7S II with the Pilotfly H1 Plus, the ultimate combination. This comes with, well, I'm using the A7 kit lens. This is a 28-70mm kit lens. So let's go through the same pathway that I did compared to the Nikon D5200 with the prime lens as well as the kit lens, and I also tried the Sony a5100 as well. So again, the Sony, like the Sony a5100, the a7S II is beautiful. Now the only comment I have is that this screen here, the LED keep turning off because I'm close to the EVF, the electronic viewfinder. It'll turn itself off, so that's something that I gotta figure out how to turn off. Okay, so let's see, there we go. So remember, this is a A7 kit lens. I don't know if it's okay to use with the A7S II, but it's working. Alright, so let's go through the same pathway as I did with Nikon D5200. Let's go. I believe the kit lens is a bit heavy for Sony a7S II, but we're going to try the prime lens, the f2 28mm. Okay, for now let's go with this and see how this handles it. So this is a kit lens with Sony a7S II. So it's stabilized using the Pilotfly H1. Now the good thing about the Sony a7S II is that it actually has its own internal 5-axis stabilization as well, and the Pilotfly has 3-axis stabilization. So I don't think I turn that off. I think it's on. These are all on auto. Okay, so I want to pretend that this is on a go, then where I set it to auto, so I'm not playing around with any of the buttons. It's like a person who just started with a camera, and all of a sudden he put the Pilotfly together with Sony a7S II, and see how that goes. Right. So, ooh, see? There we go. It's a little bit problem there. I think it's pretty heavy. So we're gonna have to try to use later on the prime lens. Okay, maybe it's not as heavy. I think this kit lens is pretty heavy, and the viewfinder having a problem with turn off, turn on as well. Okay. Anyway, I can see it's turning off and turning on again. See, it's off again. I can't tell you what I'm seeing, but that's a problem. I gotta find ways to turn that off, that feature. Right. So I'm doing a really rough type of movement, and it's not perfect. I need to stabilize. Remember, I didn't touch the software either. Right. Okay, let's turn this off. Okay, now we're with the prime lens, Sony 28mm prime lens f2. So we'll see how this lens. This is lighter lens. I can feel it on an Pilotfly H1 Plus. Much better. I think it's more stabilized. I could even see that I can navigate through it. Again, the problem with it is the AVF viewfinder. Keep constantly turn off, turn on. So, anyways, let's worry about that later on. I will move through this. We're going to do the same scenario. Much more smooth, I could tell. I don't know, I'll have to look at the video editor, but I can tell that the Sony a7S II with the prime lens 28mm f2 is better than the kit lens from A7, the 2870 or 2070 millimeter 3.5 to 5.7. Okay, so that's not as good because I think it's more heavier. Whereas this one, the prime lens, is a little lighter. You can see it feels quite stable. Now we'll have to look at the image. Okay, go from there. But I'm getting oh, there was a little shake there. Let me just turn it on again. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that was a little hiccup there. Again, I need to balance with the software to get the real full effect, but I can see that the prime lens for the Sony a7S II, as well as the Nikon d5200, actually is the same. It's the prime lens lighter, so it seems like it's better. So we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to use the prime lens for when used with the Pilotfly H1 Plus. So it seems to work much better. It's a good experiment though, right? Okay. Alright, let's go back. I can't wait to see the image. This is gonna be cool. Oh, there was another shake there. Again, see, not very good when it does that. You don't want to do that when you're doing the shooting. But again, I'm gonna have to balance this. Again, I just did one balance for all, which is the worst thing to do with the Pilotfly. I think you should just use one camera and balance it really well, and just use that. Okay, which I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'll use Sony a7S prime lens, balance it properly, and go with that. See, it's not balanced properly, so you can see the shake. I can feel the shake right now. So we're gonna do that. But overall, I think it's pretty good. I think I have to do a whole video on Sony a7S II with Pilotfly H1 Plus, because it's such a good camera for videos that we have to do a whole series on that, right? So awesome. Okay, now lastly I'm going to do is using Samsung S5 smartphone. See how that stabilization occur with the Pilotfly H1 Plus. Okay, so here's the last one. This is a Samsung S5 smartphone using the camera. I put it on a special adapter for that comes with the Pilotfly H1 Plus. Let me to lock my car first. There we go. I'm going to walk through it again and see if you can see how good it is. Okay? So it's a bit shaky. I think again I didn't balance it properly. I just want to do it quickly and give it a a quick balancing. Didn't adjust much. I should be adjusting it properly, but for now we'll see how it goes just based on a quick balance on a go and see how stabilized it is. Now it feels very light. I can see that it's struggling a little bit because like I said, I didn't balance it properly. But I just want to see how good the quality is. It's based on a quick adjustment. Alright, so we'll go. Now I can totally see using the smartphone with this H1 Plus stabilizer. It seems quite good. See, I'm walking the same way as I did with my Sony a7S II and Nikon d5200 and Sony a5100. So again, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna load all these videos up, and you guys can tell me which one you like the best. Now remember, if I play around with the balancing on the gimbal, the Pilotfly H1 Plus, I'm pretty sure I could make it stabilized for all. But one thing I did learn is that if I am going to use Sony camera, the full frame, or the Nikon D5200, I have to use a prime lens because they're quite heavy. Even the specification for this using this Pilotfly H1 Plus said it can use up to 1.2 kilograms. I wouldn't advise it. I would say less than kilograms. Probably 800 to 900 grams would be the maximum you want to go, because if you're running, it's gonna cause a shake. Okay, so you can see here, this is quite good. There's some vibration going on, but you can see the Samsung S5 holds on its own. So what I'm proving today, of course, is that the Pilotfly H1 Plus also work with smartphone, and you have a good smartphone like the S5 or the S6 or even the Note 3 or Note 4 with its HD or 4K capability. These gimbals are awesome. All right, so you don't need the Sony a7S II full frame to get this effect, but I just want to show you that if you know what you're doing, as long as you invest in a good camera, even a smartphone with a good camera feature, I think this gimbal, the Pilotfly H1 Plus, is going to be an awesome investment. Alright, so thanks for watching. I will do more videos separately for this camera from, like, say, Sony or Nikon or Samsung smartphone. And if you have any comments, post down on the bottom below, and you'll see I'll do more of these videos. Thanks for watching. EducateTube.com.